And there's a difference because happiness is not the same as joy. Happiness is an emotion and joy is a condition of the soul. So happiness is an emotion and joy is a condition of the soul. So happiness is tied to what happens to us, right? Brian and I are hanging out, like, I'm happy with that. That's great. But joy is something that happens inside of you. And there's only one thing that can change the inside of you.
Welcome to the Worship Robs podcast, where we aim to entertain, encourage, and equip worship and tech leaders all around the world. Look, we all know that serving in worship and production is great, but the problems, those are real. Thanks for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 367 of the Worship Robs podcast. Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. And guys, you're almost through December, the marathon month for worship and production and church staff. You're almost through December. And man, we're so grateful that you're here to spend a little time with us. I know the Lord is using you this month. And speaking of being used of the Lord, I don't know very many people that are being used in more powerful ways than this dude. You know him, you love him. It's the one and only Pastor Scot Longyear.
Hey, it's always good to be together and catch up on life and ministry. Yeah,
always, man. I'm so glad you're here. You doing well?
Yeah, things are going well. Not much to do. It's December. It's pretty low key around here. We don't add anything different or do anything different. I'm sure. Everybody's running around like it's Christmas. We live without margin, and then Christmas comes, and which is a beautiful time of year. But man, it's a challenge sometimes. But it's good. Life is good, man. We're walking around and just watching the Lord do some pretty amazing things that we're just real grateful for.
I love it, man. We are cheering you on. I know the Lord's doing some incredible things at Maryland, and man, cheering you on, buddy.
Oh, thanks.
You got it. Well, guys, these December episodes are shorties, man. These are just a little quick hit of the 3 E's: entertain, encourage, and equip. So you can get back to praying and preparing for Christmas Eve, which is coming this week. So grab a cold brew coffee, settle in, and get ready because we're going to have a great time today. Got a short dose of prayer concerns, some laughs, and a little encouragement for you. And then the centerpiece of this episode, Pastor Scott's going to break it down. He's going to share something that is going to really encourage you and help you to kind of get over this final hump of December, and I know God's going to use him to encourage you today. So thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Before we dive in, I want to give some love to our unbelievable sponsor. They've been with us since the podcast started in 2018, our amazing friends at Planning Center. This episode of the Worship Probs podcast is brought to you by Planning Center, an all-in-one software that can help you organize every facet of your ministry, connect with your people, and help your people stay connected to each other. Among the many ways Planning Center can help you do that is through task management. In Planning Center, you can create detailed tasks, organize to-do lists, and even collaborate on those tasks with other team members in real time. Do you have recurring events and projects with long to-do lists? Make a task list template to save time. Have regular tasks you need help keeping up with? Set your tasks to automatically repeat at an interval of your choosing. And the best part is that you can create tasks from absolutely anywhere in Planning Center using the toolbar. You'll find your Tasks tab in Planning Center Home, the place you see all the important updates happening across your account. To learn more and get started today, visit planningcenter.com or click the link in our bio. Well, guys, you're rounding third, man. You're coming in to slide into home for those Christmas Eve services, and I know it's been a busy month. It's been probably a challenging month, but I hope you've been blessed and encouraged, and you're definitely going to be blessed and encouraged today. Pastor Scott's going to share something that is going to really bless all of us. So Scott, take it away.
Well, hey, these are just some thoughts as we go into the Christmas season. And it's interesting to me. We talk about joy a lot this season. We sing a lot about joy this season, and there's got to be a survey out on this somewhere of the amount of people who are in ministry who would describe this season as being a joy-filled season. And I know that's the story, and like, man, we're grateful for the birth, and it's the star. It is all the things that it is. But if you're like me, just transparently in this season, people talk about joy, or you'll sing "Joy to the World," like, and maybe you think like, I'd like some joy in my life,
Exactly.
And I do think we run so hard, and we live with very little margin, and then Christmas and Christmas Eve services and all that comes in, and then it's the parties on top of that, and it's the gift giving on top of that, which is great. And by the time we get to like Christmas Eve or Christmas, there is that like, this is amazing. But a lot of times it's just not a season of joy. And so I don't know if you ever felt like, man, I'd love to just kind of feel some joy. And I was thinking about that and thought, for a long time, I think we chase happiness a lot, and we think, man, if I just date this girl, then I will be happy. If she says yes to me, or if I have this education, I'll finally be happy. Or if I get this job, or if I get this house, or if I can just go on vacation with Brian Tabor, I'll finally be happy. And here's what I found out is that like I got the girl, and I got the education, and I got the job, and I got the friends, and even hung out a little bit with Brian Tabor, and I was happy for a moment or for some days, but then it faded. And I think the reason that it faded is because I was chasing joy, but I really ended up with just happiness, right? And there's a difference, because happiness is not the same as joy. Just a big difference there. You know how many times, Brian, in the Christmas story, the writers talk about happiness? You know how many times the Bible says that when the angels came and all that, and talks about everybody being happy? 0 times. Nada. Zilch. They don't say it was happy time, but they talk about joy in the Christmas story at least 5 different times. And so there's something about joy. And so I wonder if we could lean into a little bit of, maybe this isn't a happy season. Maybe it's a season of loss that you walk through, or mourning that you walk through, or for the first time you're walking through some grief of some family members who are no longer there, or some people on your team who are no longer there, or just some seasons of loss. But it's interesting, right? This is out of the Christmas story in Luke. Shepherds, you've heard it 1,000 times, living out in their fields, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel appears to them, says, "Do not be afraid, because I bring you news," watch this, "that will cause great joy." Not I bring you just news that's pretty good, but this news is going to cause great joy. Now, why wouldn't they say happiness? This news is going to bring some happiness to you. Finally, you're going to be happy. And here's why. Because happiness is an emotion, and joy is a condition of the soul. So happiness is an emotion, and joy is a condition of the soul. Wow. So happiness is tied to what happens to us, right? Brian and I are hanging out, like, I'm happy with that. That's great. But joy is something that happens inside of you. And there's only one thing that can change the inside of you, right? And so just a real simple observation about Jesus or about joy that's going to sound like, well, duh, of course, but like, joy we know is found in Jesus. And you know that. And you've said that from the platform, or you've led your production teams in devotions and saying, joy is found in Jesus. And it sounds a little bit like a Hallmark movie, but the truth of the matter is that joy that happens inside of us really is found in Jesus. I think about, Brian, one of my coaches is probably one of the most joy-filled people that I know. I mean, well-adjusted, solid, down to earth. He's a man's man, 66-year-old guy, like, eats nails for breakfast and rides Harley Davidsons, and just retired, man. And he built this massive, great organization that has basically all but forgotten about him. We're like, hey, thanks for being with us. His wife walked through cancer. He probably walks around fearing that that's going to come back. He's been on the earth for 66 years, so I know he's been hurt by friends, by close friends. He was a pastor, so I'm sure people that he thought was going to be with him forever have left his church. He's got regrets, and he walks around with a little bit of a swagger, not because he's all that, but because when he was in high school, he got in a car with a friend who was not drunk, but this friend was acting stupid behind the wheel, ran into a tree. And so from the time he's a teenager, he's walking around with all this, and he's still carrying this chronic pain and a bunch of scars emotionally and maybe spiritually, but for sure physically. He carries around this joy. Well, why is that? How can this dude carry around joy? Well, here's a clue. A few weeks ago, I got this text from him, and he just said this, quote, "Good morning. I'm praying and fasting for you, for your marriage, for your family, and for your ministry today." And it's because this guy is close to Jesus. Like he's like, I'm praying like I do every day. I'm fasting like I do on occasion. And I think the closer you are to Jesus, the more joy you have. Man, I have not met anybody yet who is close to Jesus and is just like a sourpuss or like just grumpy all the time. Now, I do meet grumpy Christians, but my contention is that they're really not close to Jesus. Because when you get close to Jesus, man, there's something internally that changes it. Have a bad day? Yep. Right now, we're under gray skies in winter in Indiana. It's not a great time to live here. Not happy about it, Brian. Not happy about it. Neither one of us. We've been complaining about it.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
But there's an internal joy. And listen to this. Matthew records the Christmas story, and he says, when they saw the star, they were overjoyed. Which, if you break that down in the Greek, it means that they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. Not just joy, not just great joy, not just exceedingly great joy. It's what they rejoiced with. Like if joy was a 1 to 10, they were at a 14. And maybe you would say, man, I just like a level 2 joy right now. That would be great because everything is really, really uncertain in my life.
Yes.
But here's what we know is that uncertainty can't cancel joy because joy is internal. Now, uncertainty can cancel happiness all day long, but it can't cancel. And I think one of the reasons is because when we get close to Christ, we find our value. The closer we are to Christ, we find value. And when I really understand how much I'm valued, and my enemy wants to tell me that I'm not, but when we really understand how much we're valued by our Father, it brings an internal joy that can't be replaced. I'll land it with this. This is one of my favorite stories. I may have told you this before, but you grew up, maybe you grew up and thinking that you're not worth much. Maybe your mom or your dad told you weren't worth much, or your dad seemingly told you weren't worth much because he just wasn't around, or he didn't have any time for you, or you were told by teachers that you're not worth much, or you looked at your GPA and you're like, it's telling me that I'm not worth much, or your annual bonus tells you you're not worth much, or the people have giving you feedback in your congregation telling you that you're not worth much. And maybe that's eroding your happiness, but it can't touch your joy, because when we find Jesus, there's an internal joy that also comes because he informs our value, not other people. And so my dad, when we were super young, my dad was a car guy. And so we'd see old cars going down the road, Brian, and we'd be like, Dad, how much is that car worth? Well, Dad, how much is that car? And he'd be able to go like, that's a 42 Ford, that's a 57 Chevy, that's this. And he'd be able to name the year and the car. And we were always like, how much is that car worth? And regardless of what car we pointed out, my dad would always say the same thing. Boys, that car is worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. So if somebody's willing to give $5,000 for the car, it's a $5,000 car. If somebody's willing to give $1,000 for it, it's a $1,000 car. If they give $100,000 for it, that's the value. The value is determined by what some buyer is willing to pay for it. Now, what was Christ willing to pay for you? Everything, right? Hung bloody, came to this earth as a child, hung bloody on a cross, the ultimate sacrifice, because you have that kind of value. And so if I can walk around in that, knowing that I have value, there's an internal joy in me that my world may be falling apart and I might be walking through grief, but I realize because Jesus is close to me that I actually have value. One of my favorite lines is hidden in the song, "Oh Holy Night." And I think, Brian, it's the secret to joy when the author says this, "Till he appeared and the soul felt its worth."
Mercy.
Till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. And so don't let this season beat you down. And don't you dare let the enemy lie to you to say that you're only as good as your worship leading, you're only as good as your production, you're only as good as your leadership. No. Those don't get to determine my value. My value is determined by the Christ who paid the ultimate sacrifice for me, and that's my source of joy.
Good night. You got me, man. Whew. Good Lord. That was so good, man. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm so grateful for you for all kinds of reasons. But our community is so much better because you pour into us. So thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I love it.
Man, you're absolutely the best. My goodness.
Well, part of life too is, as you're creating things and that, and you're walking through and you're helping other people walk with joy, is you're like, okay, how do I help people on this journey, which you do really well, and then how do I help people transition, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you transition from talking about joy? Well, here would be a good transition. Well, this is a little teaching moment here. What about the joy stealers in your life? What about those people who would come and say, it looks like you have a little bit too much joy. I'm going to strip that away. And here's how I'm going to strip that away, with a little something that we like to call around here prayer concerns.
Man, that may be the best setup we've ever had. So guys, prayer concerns, you know what these are. It's the savage comments you get from your congregation and for all manner of things. And I'm sure you've heard some this December. Send them to us. We'll not share your name or your church's name. We'll protect you in all of those ways, but you send them to us and we'll share them on the podcast. It'll make people laugh. It'll give them a little bit of joy and just a breath. Take a breath and be reminded you're not the only one. You're not the only one wrestling with some of this stuff. So we share these every week on the podcast. Send yours in. You can DM them to us on any of the socials, or you can jump over to our website, Worship Leader Probs, hit prayer concerns in the menu and just fill out the form there on the old website. And again, you will be anonymous. So I got 3 of them for you.
Let's go.
Let's dive right in. Prayer concern number 1. I got this comment after a service recently. It said, your voice is really funny. On other people, it wouldn't be good, but somehow you make it work. Somehow you make it work.
I'm sorry. Now I have a picture in my mind of a funny voiced person, and I don't even know that that's fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. Somehow you make it work. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 2. Prayer concern number 2. I had a church member come up to me after service and told me, "You smile too much when you're leading." The old worship minister never smiled that much. And my reply, without thinking, well, maybe you should smile more. Oh, and the old worship minister hasn't been here for 5 years.
Zing!
Maybe you should smile more.
Jeez, man. Dance monkey. Come on,
exactly.
Man. You smile too much. Don't smile enough. It's too hot. It's too cold.
Oh my gosh. People, come on now. Come on, fam. Okay, here's the last one. Bottom of the pudding cup. Prayer concern number 3. We had a stripped down service recently with just a few instruments on stage. And this comment came in. It said, "Praise the Lord. Thank you for no drums today."
Okay.
So,
well,
we'll
sure,
for the
pass that
drummers.
along to your worship team, and especially your drummers. People are especially thankful for you today.
Exactly. That you were absent.
For you not being here.
In absentia. Oh my gosh, you guys. Those are prayer concerns. Send yours in to us. And next week, we got a little treat for you. It'll be all prayer concerns on next week's episode. So send yours in. Email them to us, DM them to us, go to the website, submit them. You can find all those links in our bio. Well, just a few things to tell you that we've got coming up here. Okay, next year, Experience Conference 2026. There's a link in our bio for this and a discount code, PROBS26. Use that and it's going to save you $30 on each registration. And it's going to be outstanding. This last year, man, was awesome. Brother Scott brought the word. And it was incredible. And so it's going to be great this next year. Join us. Link in the bio for that. Worship Karaoke. We've been sharing new episodes of that. We're coming back strong in January with a very special guest, Mr. Ian Simpkins, in the car. And so that'll be a blast. Make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube at Worship Probs for that. You're looking for somebody to come in and do a worship retreat. Kim and I are booking those for 2026. Or maybe come in for your team night, whatever you're looking for. Send me an email, info@worshipleaderprobs.com. Refuel Conference is coming up January 23rd and 24th. It's at Bethel University in Mishawaka, Indiana, which is tropical at the end of January. It is just like going to the Bahamas, and you're going to love it. It's going to be great. Kim Walker-Smith, Rita Springer, Vertical Worship, and the one and only Pastor Scot Longyear will be there. We're going to record a podcast. I think
Live
you're going to do that
right?
with me. Yeah, man, that's going to be a blast. So there's a link in the bio and a discount code for refuel as well. So join us in Mishawaka. And then the next weekend, I'll be at the Worship 424 conference at Cedarville University. Uncle Paul Balash will be there, and a whole bunch of incredible speakers going to record a podcast there. Link in the bio for Worship 424. And then rounding out the conference season is the New Jersey Worship Y Conference, Become, this year on February 7th. That's in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Kim and I will be there with Alexandra De Jesus Gomez, the founder of Free Worship.
Man.
Link in the bio for that.
Worship Probs on tour in January.
We're going to be running the gauntlet, man, in January and February. It's going to be wild. And we'd love to see all of you out there. So hit the link in the bio and join us for one of those conferences. It's going to be great. And, it's not lost on me. It's December, busy month, and here you are taking a few moments for yourself, which I applaud you for, listening to the podcast and taking some time to hang out with us here on episode 367.
And if you don't subscribe, why not? Why not? Every week, Brian brings just some phenomenal content to help us all along. So subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and also run over to Apple Podcasts, and a 5-star review and a great rating there would really help.
Yes.
Just spread the word about everything. And then all over the socials, Brian basically not only created the internet, but he owns it. So it's Instagram at Worship Probs, YouTube, Facebook, and on Threads, TikTok. It's at Worship Leader Probs. There's a community group on Facebook, which is so helpful to post any question or any struggle that you're going through there and get with like-minded leaders. And then on X, just look for the hashtag Worship Leader Probs, and we'll get you all plugged in.
We love engaging with you all, man. And hey, huge thanks to our friend Allie Bajanos. Allie Be Creative for her excellent work on the podcast. If your church or your business or your company, whatever, you need some social media help, you need a website, branding, logos, whatever it is, Allie is your girl. And we will tag her in the description. Give her a shout. She will absolutely crush it for you. And thanks to my friend Scott Hoke for our intro. Guys, we love you. We wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Until next time, deuces.
Arrivederci.